Loudest drawer. Loudest drawer. Loudest drawer.
With
CeCe and
CeCe, well, we talk about all the hot topics. What's your vibe? What you been up to, girl? How you doing? Looking all cute and stuff, honey. I love the hair.
I just got back from a little, night out. I'm vibing on water. I was really thinking about stopping and getting a margarita real quick from Velvet Taco, but then I was like, no, let me just, stay focused in the zone.
That's a Velvet
Taco.
Taco.
Yes. They have the best margaritas, girl. And if you get the little float on it, the Grand Marnier.
Ooh, that sounds good right now.
A nice to-go treat.
Taco. I'm going to try to see if they have that out here.
Check it out, girl. What you feeling like? How's your day?
Another long night. So we're on the coffee,
Cheers
so.
to productivity. Because you get it done, friend.
We get it done. We get it done. So, I'm gonna have my little margarita. I think it's gonna be tomorrow. I'm planning on having like a little game night, hopefully, with the brothers. Have some little game night, some steaks, nachos. So that's gonna be tomorrow. So I'll just turn up tomorrow. But for today, another all-nighter, you know what I'm saying? Nothing too
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. I was like, well, I'll wait till the weekend to kind of turn up a little bit. I was thinking about hosting a little brunch at my house, but it depends on what the girls are talking about. If not, it'll be another productive weekend. But
yes, honey. So what's up, girl? I know we stopped somewhere. So what we talking about today? So
of course. So I want to circle back around to a little cliffhanger we left in our last episode.
Okay.
So I want to talk about, do people change? So how do you feel? Like, I can go ahead and jump into my perspective, but I'd rather hear you out first to see what are your thoughts about if people change or if they have the capacity to really change.
Right. So yeah, when you mentioned that last episode, I was like, ooh, that is really intense, and it has a lot of layers to it, right?
Yes.
So I did have some time to think about it. And I guess for me, I feel like if it's about cheating, do people change when it comes to cheating? I don't know. I really don't know. I want to give people the benefit of the doubt and all that stuff. But we've been talking about the tea with the Real Housewives and Robin's husband, and how he cheated before. Now he cheated again, allegedly. So if you want me to think different, it's not looking bright for me because I'm feeling like once a cheater, always a cheater. I don't know. But, I feel like if you cheat, it depends. If you're in a real relationship, not just when you just in a dating phase or whatever, like when you have a real committed relationship and you sit there and you decide to cheat, then, you can change, but your threshold to cheat again is very low. What I'm saying? It's very low. So when it comes to cheating, I'm just like, if you cheat one time and you're in a real dedicated relationship, then you probably are likely to cheat again. But in terms of like change in terms of life, if you, went through a hard time in your life and things like that, and you're doing things different now, then yes, I feel like you definitely can change in terms of that. It's just, it's just when you make that determination to change and you follow through, then yes, I feel like that's possible. So if you're thinking about changing your life, doing things different, that's 100% yes, you can change once you put your mind to it. Just like anything else, like dieting and things like that. Once you say, I'm really going to do it with no one else forcing you to do that, when it's internally, then yes, I feel like it's definitely 100% you can do it, you can change. But when it's come to cheating, maybe I'm biased and maybe I just don't play those games. But
yeah, that's rightfully so. That's your opinion. I think what I'm hearing you say is like, there's some things that are fixed that won't change. And then there's some things that you can like form new habits and do differently.
True. I think you summed it up well.
I do agree to a certain extent. I kind of like am on a spectrum when it comes to cheating because I don't necessarily feel like every person cheats in every relationship they're in.
Okay.
But I do believe that if you're going to cheat, and I don't even think that like if a guy cheats or a woman cheats in their relationship, they're going to continue. But I agree with the threshold because now you already have stepped outside of that,
Right.
commitment that you decided to be in. And so now it may be easier for you to step back out again because you're already comfortable with making those moves
That's
versus
right.
somebody that is not even in that mind space or don't even feel the need to step outside of that commitment. But then when it
Right.
comes to like other things, like even personality traits, I think some things are set in stone and fixed. But if you are actively working on yourself, even if you're more susceptible to something, I don't believe that you cannot change your narrative and do something different with
Right.
hard work. I feel like that's the biggest thing. It's going to
True.
be very hard. It's going to require discipline. It's going to require some mistakes, like maybe even some regression to get you there.
Yeah.
But I do believe that people have the capacity to change. It just doesn't come quickly.
It doesn't come quickly, and that's true. Like I'm just when it comes to the cheating thing, like you make sense. Like the threshold is down, but people can't. If they say that I'm not going to cheat no more, or they finally found the true love of their life, whatever, then they decide not to cheat. Then that's possible. But like you said, is when you make that decision and you move towards it, and you may have some setbacks along the way, but when you yourself, no external factors are pushing you towards that change, then it's going to be hard, but you can do it. And that's just going back to working out and losing weight. When I told myself last year that I was going to lose weight because I had a goal in mind, I lost that weight. I was up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning making sure I worked out with nobody forcing me to do it. And I did lose 30 pounds. So like you said, people can change, but was it hard for me? Walking in the kitchen and seeing the Oreos, seeing the hot Cheetos. I'm a sucker for hot Cheetos. Was it
Right.
hard? Yeah, it was hard. But, I did it because that internal determination. So yes, people can change.
And I was going to even add to that, you make a really good point. It's not so much external forces, but it's more so your intrinsic motivation. And I think that's what you're talking about. Like, even when it comes to cheating, I've talked to multiple friends of mine, and they're basically like, when a man has matured to a level where he wants to be committed, he does not. And some men, I think, are naturally like that. If we're talking about men specifically, women cheat too. So I
Yeah,
think some women are like, well, until I decide that I'm willing and ready to make this change to be completely faithful, they're not going to do it. It's nothing that they can meet the perfect guy or the perfect woman. It has nothing to do with that other external person. It's dependent on their mindset. So I do believe a lot of times, and we're kind of getting off topic because it just got real interesting, but I do think a lot of times women think, or men think like, oh man, I did something or I can change this person. It's nothing that you can do to change somebody or make somebody lose weight, stop cheating, focus on whatever goal they're trying to achieve, whether it's career, whatever that intention they have in mind is. There's nothing that anybody else can do. Yeah, you can motivate them, you can encourage them, but it has to come from within to make those
that's
changes.
right.
Honestly, I think that's the biggest takeaway. Like, if somebody wants to change, it got to be their decision.
Yes, and for the viewers, if you're trying to make a life-changing movement right now or trying to do something different, please, like we're saying, do it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's possible. It's going to take hard work. It's going to be different. It's going to be uncomfortable. But you know what?
Definitely.
If that's what you want to do, you go for it because it's going to pay off in the end, you know?
Yeah, it will. I feel like any change or anything that's worth having is going to require some hard work and some
That's
dedication.
right.
Everything's not supposed to be easy. But speaking of everything not supposed to be easy, let's talk
Yeah.
about routines.
Okay.
I really want to dive into this concept because we've thrown it out a few times on previous episodes. The importance of building your routine, whether it's your morning routine, your night routine, both, whether it's trying to transition into a new career or discipline yourself to finish a book. It's still some
Yes.
type of routine. So how do you feel? Do you feel like you have a routine? Do you feel like, you need to form routines in other ways or other areas of your life? What do you feel about routine building?
I feel routine building is very necessary. It's very essential, especially when you have a lot of, moving pieces, because without a routine, without a balance, without organization, it's going to be chaotic. And if you're asking if I have a routine, I mean, I have a routine in my day. I do. I know exactly what I do. I wake up, I know exactly how my morning is. But it's organized in a very chaotic way.
That's a word.
Yeah, very organized. And so I'm very organized, like, that comparing me, my husband, my husband is very organized in a very, simple cuts, way that you can see it. I can come in and see it. I'm very organized in a way that only I can understand it. You ain't better come up in my shoes and think you about to run my life because you ain't gonna fit in. Hey, don't even try
That's
it.
good,
Hey,
right?
later, stay away. You can't do it. So just stay out my shoes, honey. So,
Yeah.
but I know, so I know what's going on, but it's not for everybody. But it's definitely not one of, something that, I would love to hear more about it from you because I know, you for years. So I know you're very organized. You're very, like your house is organized to the T. Everything is organized, balanced. You got certain things you do, even to the detox, and when you detox, and when you do those things. So I'm interested to see like more about what you can, help us.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely give my opinion and my feedback. I'm definitely like a type A personality where I'm almost borderline OCD. Like things that are out of order, I literally kind of get a little antsy because I'm like, this does not feel right. It's not clean. I've worked on that because I realize it's okay to have a little bit of organized chaos. So I like the point you made. Yeah, your husband operates this way. Yeah, we're really good friends, best friends, sisters, family. You know how I move.
Yep.
But then you're also routine in your own habits where I couldn't necessarily jump in and do what you do the way you do it, but you get it done and you're very efficient. It's going to be very particular. It's going to be high level of achievement when you go at it. For me, I think I have to be very kind of not monotonous, but like I like to find when I'm on a mission to accomplish something, my routine is geared based on that accomplishment. So say I'm trying to fast or lose a certain amount of weight or tone up or something.
Okay.
My routine is going to shift because of that. So I may now start waking up a little bit earlier or more so moving things around in my schedule. So like my morning routine, of course, I wake up, I make up my bed. Like that's really big for me. I have to
Okay.
get my day started. I feel like I can't really move around my house until my bed's made up, unless I'm like changing the sheets.
Okay.
And then, I stretch, brush teeth, wash face, get something to drink, and then I start my day, right? That's usually if I'm working from home. But also in addition to that, I make sure like, okay, I know I'm going to work out at this time. If I'm doing 2 workouts a day, then it's like, okay, this is the frame of time that I need to get it done. And then this is the next frame. If I miss one, then it's like, okay, well, I've already scheduled it. But sometimes, things kind of get off track and I've learned to be flexible with it, but it still goes to show like you have to move forward with your routine. You don't just stop and completely go back to not having one. It's like, okay, this got kind of off this time, but I'm still going to continue with my day. It might shift a few things on how I felt, but I want to be open enough. And I think a lot of times people get so structured and hardcore where if their routine is off, then their whole day is off. Like, that's not good. I don't think that's real balanced. But
Right.
like even in the nighttime, like girl, you know me. I'll be like, okay, girl, I'm about to shut it down. I want to read for 30 minutes.
Right.
I need to make sure I wash my face, brush my teeth, take my, like it's
Yeah.
all routine, like no screen time, put my phone up, and that's my night routine. But then again, that shifts too, depending on what my goals are. Or I want to go out and hang out with my friends or whatever it may be. I want to be a little spontaneous. I'm in another city, So
Right.
I think like you can have a foundational routine that you do some of the same things every day. And then some of the routine items have to shift based on the goal and where
Okay.
you're at in life. That's kind of how I look at it.
Okay.
I hope that makes sense for the viewers, y'all, because that's just me personally on how I move. So we would be interested to know, like, what are some of the important routines that you all have to stick with or feel like you want to stick with? Like sometimes we build routines based on ideals. Like, okay, for me, I would love to wake up and meditate for 5 minutes, do some stretching, drink hot tea. Like I would like to be more specific with my morning routine or night routine, but that's something I have to build towards. So what are some things that y'all are working on as far as your routine? Are you building towards like establishing a new routine, or do you feel like your routine that you have now is good and it works for you?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I definitely feel like I could benefit from a routine. And I just don't know how to put it in my day. But I know there's a way because even my brother always tells me like, you can set a routine.
Yeah,
I just don't know how. I just feel like the days are too short. I don't
Yeah.
know, 24 hours enough. It needs to be
Right.
a good. I don't know. 38.
Okay, I'll be like, can we get 42 hours in the day, please?
Okay, can I, get some more time? Like, sheesh, it's time for
Yeah.
bed.
She's just strict.
I'm telling you, I'm like, whew, boot camp. But
Like you said, you've done it before. Regardless, like if you have a certain priority, then I feel like you're able to establish that routine. Now, it may not be like the same time every day, but when you were losing weight, you made sure you worked out once a day. You made sure you ate right. That was your routine, in addition to everything else you had going on in your life. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes we get out of the routine, and I think that's okay too. I feel like there's ebbs and flows and routines, but I do believe that you need some type of foundational routine.
so do
And
you
even,
write these routines down, or is it
I
just
don't, but that's a
okay?
good suggestion.
Okay.
Like a
Just for the
monthly
viewers,
routine.
like who's thinking,
Yeah.
someone's here listening on routines is when they're just starting a routine. When this is like embedded in you at this point, but for those who are starting building a routine, would you recommend them writing it down? What would you think? And I have my opinion on the writing down a routine, but what did when you started this routine? It could have been, years ago when you was, a teenager. Like, did you write it down, or you just mentally did this routine?
I think that's a really good point with Chi-Chi. Writing it down, I think that's a good suggestion. I've never been a big journaler, like journaling and stuff like that, writing things down. I know it's a great practice. And so sometimes that, again, is something I do want to incorporate into my routine more consistently because I'll be on the bandwagon of writing things down, journaling, writing whatever down each day, and then I'll fall out of it. But my routine pretty much stays the same because it's been so ingrained right now. So I think but again, it's very foundational. So like make the bed, brush teeth, drink water in the morning. Like literally, that is my basic routine, and I don't think there's anything wrong with a basic routine. But then again, for me, based on whatever I'm trying to implement or goal I have, then it's going to kind of reflect that. My routine is going to shift a little bit. I'm going to tweak it so that I can add in the components I need to achieve whatever I need to achieve,
Yeah.
And there's something I think chemically that is released when you accomplish something. So even small accomplishments, that's why I keep going back to like making my bed. It's one of the smallest accomplishments you can complete in the morning. But it gives you a level of satisfaction, and that helps your happy hormones, is what I've understood.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Very, very knowledgeable on that. But I think in terms of writing things down from like different faculty and professors that I spoke to, some people are for like writing down a schedule because they try to teach us this in school on, balance and things like that, because they understand that balance is not something that, we're so great at, especially going to school and doing multiple things. But so some faculty say, write your schedule down, but then some say, write your schedule down, but be okay, like you said, with, if you don't get all of it done. And then that's kind of what I've heard. Write it down and then follow it, or write it down. But if you don't, accomplish everything, don't get too bogged down on it, and make your vibes go down or whatever. It's okay, be able to be flexible with it. So I have tried to write in my schedule down, but I noticed that sometimes I don't get everything done. And then it just kind of like sits there and looking at me, and I'm looking at it, and then it messes up my vibe. So I just like tear it up and throw it in the trash. So I do everything. I do a calendar. Calendar is really good. Virtual calendar. I've noticed that one's really good for me. So because I'm always on my email, so it all just pops up. But lately, I feel like my calendar is so booked that when it's like beeping at me, it's just like screaming at me, and I just like exit it out.
That's so funny you say that, because like I can definitely relate. Yeah, like virtually, for one, I try to cut screen time because I'm on the computer a lot with my full-time job or whatever.
Right.
So anytime it's not our business or something else, like I do not want to be on the computer. But I have like a planner. Like I literally write things down. I'm still old school when it comes to writing things down. But I notice when you get a planner, girl, that thing fills up so quickly. You're like, oh my, every day is booked. Like,
Wait, hold up.
all day.
The vibing with CeCe&ChiChi. Like what?
Because we have to get that in.
Gotta get it in. Just
vibe
get it
out.
down. What time is it, girl?
I know. We're making it go. We are making it shake. So,
Yes.
y'all, make your routine. Let us know what some of the routines y'all have. put it in the comments, and keep us posted.
Yes, honey.
So the last topic I wanted us to talk about, and this is going to be kind
Yes.
of interesting because I feel like you have expertise on this and I have theoretical expertise. But parenting styles, because I know this may not pertain to everyone. I get everyone doesn't want to be a parent, and I respect that. Like,
Yeah.
it takes very special people, I think, to be parents the right way and really take that responsibility seriously.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about parenting styles? And do you have one of your own?
Yeah, so parenting style. So yeah, everybody does have their different parenting style. Myself and my husband have two different type of parenting styles. Sometimes that can get very challenging. So what is my parenting style? Well, I would say that I'm a person that I'm very in tune with my children. I like to talk to them. Like every day after school, I want to know, how was your day? I go in order. How was your day? I want to hear the full day. So if something alarming or anything is in that day, I talk about it. I get some more, I ask more questions. And then if there's something I can teach them, some different tools on how to handle certain situations, I'm that type. I go through I go through all of them and then I talk about it. So I'm a talker, and then I'm also a nurturer. I love to nurture my children, give them hugs, play with them, and things like that. So I'm that type. And I like to joke with my kids. Like we have like personalities, so we joke, we make weird personality. Every child of mine is different, so we do that as well. Now, that's my normal, like, mommy, kind of thing. Now, in terms of discipline, when there's an issue in terms of discipline, I'm also a discipliner as well. So I definitely will get to the bottom of it, and you will make sure you know that what you did is wrong. So I would definitely discipline you and make sure we take things away. If it's your games, your laptops, or your toys, take it away. And then I'll reassess you. So I'm a positive reinforcement and like a negative reinforcement. So if you're doing something good, you're going to definitely get that positive reinforcement. I'm going to buy you the treats. I'm going to buy you the toys. Like, I'm that type. But if you're not behaving or something like that, I will take it away, and reassess if I need to take away for a week or for 6 months, depending on what you do. And yeah, that's kind of how I am. So that's kind of parenting style. But there's other parenting styles a little more stricter, that kind of live in my, like, less nurturing, more like, strict.
Like, do what I say.
I say.
We don't have like a friendship vibe. And I say friendship lightly because I know as a mother, you're not necessarily their friend at first, but you do want them to express their personalities in a way that they feel comfortable, but they know they respect you as well. So I like how you kind of mentioned, like, you have a balance with your children. Like, you make them feel seen, you heard, they're valued. They're not just the kids that's like, okay, well, come in, do the chores and whatever, or you're getting in trouble, but I'm not telling you why you're in trouble. You, I feel, are raising well-balanced people, because I think that's part of life. Being able to converse, be in tune with people around you, being able to talk about what's going on with your day, like, and then giving feedback, like needing help. And I think that teaches them on how to, like, be comfortable with, like, seeking help from people that they value their opinion from.
Right.
Because, I mean, that's, to me, I don't know, I don't have kids, but I feel like your parenting style is a very healthy parenting style. And I do believe it's an evolved parenting style from what we've seen previously a lot of times.
Right. But I do go back, I revert back to the old fashioned sometimes, and I get in there.
I know you do, friend. I know you get in there.
Sometimes, like, ooh, I have to go ahead and do what Mama done did, because honey, this talking about it, this vibing out is just not working. We're about to we're about to get up in there.
Yeah.
And so, I try that too now. Like, I go in the corner and look like, does that work?
Yeah.
Every day, changing and seeing what works. But parenting styles is complicated because, every child is different, so it's an everyday challenge. Yeah.
But I think being in tune with your children. But what were you going to ask?
What do you think? What type of parent do you think you'll be?
I think it would be kind of like a combination of what you're discussing. I feel like we relate as far as our attitudes and our temperament. So I feel like I would be the same. I want to be, because I'm really close to my parents, and
Of
they
course.
always been like very open. They would converse with me. They would give me feedback. They would play around. But when I got in trouble, I knew I was in trouble. Like my mom was definitely the authoritarian. My dad was a little bit more free, flowy. But I think for me, I would be a combination of both. Like I want my kids to feel comfortable coming to me and not feeling scared, because I do believe some children are scared to talk to their parents. They don't feel comfortable with them. I don't ever want my children to feel like they can't tell me something, because I feel like it's very important to have that trust and that bond between the parent and the child.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we're each other's biggest advocate. Like I'm my child's, in my mind, biggest advocate.
That's
and then
right.
I want them to come to me like, hey, this is my, I know she's going to have my back. I know she's going to look out for me. But I know if I'm in trouble that I know what I did was wrong. Like, I don't want them to ever be like, well, I didn't think that was wrong. Like lying, that's not acceptable. Now, I'm not saying I'm against spankings. I'm definitely not saying I'm against that either. Like, but I do feel like it's a time and place and a way you go about doing it.
Right.
Like, I don't believe in all the hardcore, like, you about to be beat to is no returning, whip with extension cord and what brooms and stuff. I hope it doesn't get like that, because honestly, it's like, I don't want to have to be physically. Like, I'm about to square up with you, but you just, because I know how I was as a kid, so I'm like, it could be a possibility. But it's like, you just really don't know your parenting style until you meet your children, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's good to know. So, of course, to the viewers, let us know what your parenting style is. Like, how do you handle your children when you're disciplining them? What do you think is the best way, or your thoughts, concerns? So we all, learn together.
Exactly,
We
girl.
have vibed out on so many great topics. So we're just
Yes,
going
we
to
have.
sit there and see what the viewers have to vibe out about, discuss, and, we're going to see each other next time and see what the new vibes are.
Yes, ma'am. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and we will be vibing out with you soon. All right.
What's your vibe?
Peace
Bye.
out, everyone.